Welcome to the Talk and Chatter Experience powered by Gasoline Alley Harley-Davidson. My guest today is former freestyle motocross athlete, photographer and Harley Australia ambassador, Emma McFerrin. Welcome.
Thanks for having me on the show.
No worries. Who's Emma McFerrin?
Emma, just your everyday chick these days, but work in an office actually. But I was fortunate enough to ride freestyle motocross full time for about 5 years, traveling the world, riding my bike. It was pretty cool actually.
So how does one get into that?
My brother.
Purely your brother?
Yeah, I would have to say pretty much nearly everything I've done in life, I would say, is based around Maddie. But parents, we got some land years back when, I was 13 at the time, moved house, and parents bought my brother a bike. So it all just stemmed from there. He was riding, I just wanted to copy him. He raced every weekend. I had to go tag along, watch him. I just got to the point, I was like, if I'm here, I might as well do it myself. And then raced for motocross for I did 10 years actually. Then he moved across to freestyle and he sort of always convinced me, said, you'll be the only chick, but I didn't really want to listen. I just kept racing. And then when I went along to one of his Showtime shows, I sort of went, this is cool. This is what I want to do. And quit my job at the time. I think I was actually working in a deli. It was my first job.
Wow.
And then just went, moving to Queensland, I'm going to give this a crack. And yeah, it come from there. Actually, within 6 months, got my first tour, Crusty Demons. So pretty stoked on that.
6 months' time?
Yep.
So you've raced for 10 years.
Yep.
You turned your hand at freestyle and you got onto a Crusty tour.
Yeah, within 6 months, first tour, all around Australia. It was pretty cool.
What year is this of Crusty?
Crusty tour was last Crusty event was 2010, Thirst for Destruction tour.
And that was the one you're on?
Yep.
Awesome. How was that?
Yeah, it was cool. It was pretty nerve-wracking, I'd say. The first show was in Perth, and Maddie
Was that the Wild show?
Probably.
Probably.
They're all pretty wild, Crusty compared to Nitro, but Maddie actually dropped me at the train station and knuckled me, said good luck, and put me on the train, caught the train to Brisbane, and then flew to Perth on my own, and it was... I was pretty scared. I knew Sawley. He was the one helping me at the time. He was like a big brother to me. He used to follow me in each jump just to make sure I was safe. But yeah, went out there on my own and I actually did pretty well. I didn't miss a trick. So I was stoked to get the first nerves out of the way. And then, Maddie actually joined the tour probably 2 or 3 stops after that. And we did some side-by-side tandem not tandem, but side-by-side freestyle next to each other like a brother-sister act, which was pretty cool.
Yep. Wow. So you got on the tour before Maddie did?
Yeah. I don't know how that happened or why, but I know I did at least 3 shows without him and then he jumped on board.
So his thing was Showtime at the start?
Yeah, he wrote Showtime full time, so he might have been busy. I'm not too sure. It might have clashed, but yeah.
Was the Krusty's experience a good one?
Crusty was a very different experience to Nitro Circus, I'd say. It's a little bit hardcore, wild, where Nitro was very family orientated. All the riders did look out for each other. It was pretty close-knit. Not as cool guy kind of scene, I guess. No one cared, just that sort of image. So, I did love Nitro Circus.
Yeah, I can understand that sort of side of it. I reckon there'd be some fairly strong egos getting thrown around that time.
Very different back then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I was a fair bit younger, and when they'd go out and party, it was a little bit different.
Because I was going to ask you that too, because 2010, it's 10 years ago now. That's a fair... You would have been really young, really young.
Really? Oh no, I'm pretty old.
But your first time on tour as well. That's coming from 10 years of racing into a Krusty's tour. That must be a bit of an eye opener.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say I was 22 at the time. But it was different. That's what I mean. To go out with those boys was different atmosphere to what I was used to, especially going out with girls in Melbourne, high heels, dresses. It was But that was cool.
Were you a partier?
Oh, yeah. I was growing up in Melbourne, very different to Gold Coast where I live now.
Yep.
You did not leave the house without heels and dress, where now I pretty much won't leave the house without thongs on, so it's cool. Yeah, because
each time I see you, you're pretty much either in riding gear or thongs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I love it. That's why I moved up.
And so Crusty tour, you did just the one. That was the end of their...
Yeah, that was their last tour.
That was
maybe 5 stops.
Yeah, cool.
And then moved straight on to Nitro the next year.
So no more deli work, no more...
Nah.
So,
bit of a change.
So what happens? You leave going basically full-time work and racing of a weekend to going on tour. wage, this, that? Like it all happens pretty quickly?
Yeah, I think I actually had barely even been working full-time long. I did study photography, so it was not long after that. Just maybe got like my first job, started a bit of work during the week, and then went away, did that. But the money was completely different. Obviously, Dally, not so much money.
Yeah.
But when I did my first tour, I thought I was killing it. I probably didn't work for the next 6 months, but
Wow.
I should have. It wasn't probably that much money, but after working, it's like a little shitty job. It was a big change for sure.
It's not like you're going to retire at 22.
Nah, not at all. But I think the feeling of the change in reality was, sick.
Because you did study photography.
Yeah. So that's
what
one
did you
thing I
do?
didn't copy Maddie on. I did
Maddie
that
didn't?
before him. No.
Yeah, cool. So what did you do?
I studied at RMIT applied photography and design,
Yep.
2-year course. So that was cool. I didn't really even know what I wanted to do when I finished school, and I just wanted to do something hands-on, something I enjoyed, and did that. And then once I started freestyle, I had all my equipment and that, which I actually sold majority of it to Matt. But when I started riding, I couldn't quite concentrate on the both. I found myself every time I go to train, like freestyle, I'd pick up the camera and be too excited to take photos. So then I just kind of got rid of it and just went, I'm going to focus on riding. Yep.
Two different sides of the brain.
Yeah, I got too excited with photos that I didn't want to ride myself. So it was just like one or the other. You're out there to practice.
We'll probably get to that later, but that's probably something that probably happened later on again too, didn't it? I'm guessing.
Yep.
So what was your first bike? What did you start riding on?
XR80, 1986 model, same as Matt, same year as him.
Same bike as Matt or a different
Yeah,
one?
we just had the one between us, so we shared that. And then got my first bike on my own was an XR100.
Yeah, nice.
And then I got all of his hand-me-downs, although I did get the first Serif 250. I was the first year on that, where Matt was on 450 by that point. So,
right.
Yep.
And who was faster as a kid?
Oh, Matt smoked me.
All the time?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
And did he follow the racing path? Or
Yeah, Matt was actually a really good racer.
Yeah?
Yeah. He was A-grade racing with actually like Bilko and Sinks and all those guys. But then once he switched to freestyle, a few injuries. At one point he broke both his wrists and his leg and just sort of never come back from it. Just mad arm pump that it killed him racing for him. So that's when he focused full-time freestyle.
And traveling the world doing the freestyle thing.
Yeah.
How,
Pays the bills.
Yeah, 100%. How long did you go on tour for the Nitro?
Nitro, I'm going to say we did at least 4 years or so. First I started out, I wasn't riding it. I was planting the crowd. I don't know if I meant to say that.
Yeah, for sure. Is that true? Like, someone... Am I going to have to answer it here? But that happens, hey, I'm guessing... don't you say. But I guess if there's a trick that's supposed to be happening, they might pull someone out of the crowd to do something, maybe.
Yeah, I guess depends on safety.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Some of it's definitely real.
Yeah, for sure. And
I
that
don't
was...
know.
Okay, so you went on tour. Yeah, let's leave that there because... We'll talk.
But yeah,
Let me just...
I'm going to say, I did Oz tour. What do we have? We did Oz tour, went across to New Zealand,
Yep.
come back, would have been regional Oz, and then eventually did Europe. I did a couple of tours in Europe, and then we did America. So, and then I went back to Europe after, unfortunately, when we were doing tandem, it was rough. Every time Matt got injured, I'd get sent home because I was on his bike, and it happened several times. He kept sort of breaking his legs at the time, and it sucked. It was
Yeah.
tough.
That would be... you're a duo.
Yeah.
In every part, I guess.
Yep. So, yeah, he had some pretty bad luck, and one time was just a stupid little accident. He jumped on the tow rope for the Giganna, thought he could jump the mountain bike. We all told him not to, and crashed, dislocated his shoulder. Yep, we get sent home. Another time, I actually kicked his foot when we landed the trick, and it landed on the brake, so we slid out. Just a stupid little crash, but snapped his ankle clean. He had surgery. We got sent back to Europe at the time. 2 weeks later, he's like, we're going back, we're riding. He had all pins and plates. He couldn't even walk. Went back to America, did the next few shows, and then he got really, really bad infection, ended up back in hospital. So missed that tour again.
Overseas in hospital?
Yeah, in America. Yep.
Yep.
Real bad, blood infection from riding with, I guess, stitches, open wound.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
You guys are crazy. You look back
Dude.
at some of that stuff, it's you've had some wild times.
Yeah, definitely. It's
So
worth it.
The first tour, you go on in, say, 2011, what happens? You get on there, Do they just hand you like a Nitro Circus card, or like for someone like me, I'm completely outside it. What happens? Like, does Travis Pastrana come up to you and go, "Hey, welcome, go do your thing," or is it? You say it's like a family. So.
It was family, super so close knit,
Supportive.
but supportive. Yeah, everyone actually cares how everyone's doing, health, safety.
Yep.
But God, the organisation behind Nitro is unbelievable. Definitely the best group I've worked with. You're handed a tour book as soon as you begin. It's got the entire 6 weeks, start to finish, every day, pretty much itinerary routine, what flight you're on, what hotel you're in, everyone's numbers, just where you're going. And then the best thing I love, which I sort of never forget, is the day sheets under your hotel door. So wake up to this sheet under your door, and it's like, if you want to get on the bus to go skydiving at 8:30, jump on the bus. If you want to go do your own thing, do this. But just list time after time, like whole day itinerary of what you're able to do if you want to. If you don't want to get involved, that's your choice. But it was sick.
So constantly, every single day of tour,
It was just fun.
potentially something to do fun.
Yeah, for like non-show days. Show days was get up, go to the venue, practice, this and that. But for days off in between, if it was a weekend tour and we were on tour during the week, it was just like fun shit to do every day.
Wow, that'd be addictive, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's definitely a side I miss. Never live that again. It's cool.
Did Matt, obviously your brother, did you guys have a bond as kids? Like, obviously growing through doing the stunts that you've done together, same deal. I want to touch on that a bit more, but it must be a pretty incredible bond that you share.
I won't go into depth. He'll kill me, but let's just say he gave me a hard time growing up, for sure. Up until nearly I was probably 16, and then we got along really good. Like obviously, as brother and sister growing up, always fighting. Yep, constant nickling. And then 16, I just remember that this one day he's like, "Do you want to come shopping with me?" And we went into Melbourne City, and it was like, "You want to be my friend?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then from then on, like, real close. So it was cool. Yep.
And that obviously helped with traveling the world together and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was always good to have him there. Like when we'd arrive at a like new city, go check in the hotel, go meet down the lobby, and sort of go explore, do some stuff together.
Must have made it easier to leave sort of home, I guess.
Yeah.
Having a family member with you.
Someone there, yeah.
Yeah.
But then when I did live in Europe in Germany for about 3 years, I was completely on my own. Like just stay with the family I didn't know. Well, got to know them after that long, but yeah, it was a pretty big sacrifice, I guess. Friends and family, but worth it.
Definitely. What sort of area would that be in your sort of Nitro career?
It was only 3 years ago. Not even 3 years. Maybe 3 now. I come back from Germany after I broke my femur.
This is when your femur?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Sort of ended it for me, unfortunately.
The time's gone quick. Maybe
Quick.
not for you, but
Yeah.
it has gone quick, eh?
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like yesterday I was riding, but then it does feel like a long time ago.
So what about the injuries? How do you overcome that?
To me, I don't know. It doesn't bother me in any way whatsoever.
At all?
Nah. The one that's affected me the most, strangely enough, like all my freestyle accidents, I don't care. Like you're just hanging, using that downtime, just waiting to get back on the bike, like thinking about what went wrong, just how you can be better, what you can learn when you come back. But the one that really affected me is I had a road bike crash probably 2 years ago and was in shorts and singlet, come off on the bitumen, and it was the most pain I've been in my life. Just mad gravel rash, but just the whole process of scrubbing it, cleaning it, it really mentally affected me because it wasn't something that was my fault. It was on the road. There was nothing I could do. So now when I ride, like it's constantly what I'm thinking about, just what's on the road, what's ahead of me, and just envisioning coming off. But where freestyle, like have a crash, go short, break my femur, I know what I did wrong.
You can analyse it straight away.
So it doesn't scare you in any way whatsoever. Not for me anyway.
No, especially after the years and some of the crashes and stuff like that.
Even that one, big one in Darwin, everyone's obviously seen
That's
it.
scary.
That huge overjump, and yeah, nearly the first time back riding, Maddie's like, you got to go hit 75 again. If you don't, you'll be scared. So anything you tell me, if I do, I go and do it. And I remember it clearly. I was down at Jacko's, lined up 75, hit it, but Maddie's hiding behind the landing, just too scared to watch. It waited for me to land, then come out.
What happened that day, Darwin?
Everything. I think it was a bit of a mix of, it was a gnarly tailwind. It was actually like a side tailwind and brand new bike. It wasn't mine at the time. I'd been given, I'm going to say like a 3-year-old bike off Kawasaki. So when I flew up to Darwin, it was like a 3-year newer bike, very different speed, obviously, and then bitumen, tailwind, just all went wrong. First jump.
Recipe for disaster. Like,
yeah, I
for
didn't.
something.
No practice, just straight up. Like, I think if you're on the same year, it's like a lot similar, but just a big change in everything. Older bike.
Yep. Evolution sort of
Yep.
thing. It changed up.
Yep.
And what happened to you?
Strangely enough, I broke my wrist, dislocated my wrist, and didn't get concussion, even
No?
though head foot 90 foot. Head first 90 foot. No concussion. It's like the only crash I've had that I've been awake.
Wow.
And I did have like an air pocket of air come outside my lung, which kept me in hospital for about 7 days. I wasn't able to fly home just in case the pressure popped it, but nothing serious.
Nothing bad.
At all.
Bad.
No.
Yep. Wow. That is
Yeah, it's like the
because
best
a lot of
injury
people
I've
have
had.
seen it.
Yep.
Like, no doubt. It was big.
Yeah.
What do the concussions worry you
Oh, they do now.
nowadays? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you hear of obviously
Yeah.
football and this and that now. Like 2010 and 11, nobody even would have thought
Yep.
about concussion.
And it scares me sometimes for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was one stage I had 3 concussions in a month. So
Yeah.
obviously they say like 6 to 8 weeks off, and I went one weekend, next weekend, had a weekend off, next weekend, knocked out again, and then I didn't ride for about 6 months after that. I was pretty out of it. But it's more like just forgetting stuff. Like I can openly admit, like I forget what I say, and then people are like, you told me that, and it can get upsetting when like I don't even know. Or the biggest thing for me, I know people say drinking, obviously you can drink too much, but drinking sets it off 100%.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's there like a forgetfulness?
Yeah, and it can go either way. Like I could have 2 drinks and not remember the whole night, or I could have 20 drinks and remember them the whole night. But you just never know which way it's going
Where
to
the
go.
balance
like,
is. Yep.
Well, it can. Yeah, it's that's what I find the biggest thing for me is. And I know people just say you drank too much, but some nights like I'll barely have drank and I won't remember anything, sort of thing.
Yeah. So that's
But
got to be from that.
I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it just seems to switch at the most because if you drink a lot, like I'll remember less during the week, sort of thing. Where if I don't drink for a while, like I'll be a lot better, definitely mentally.
What's the like in your concussions and that, is it a fogginess, or like did you have any of those things where it was forgetful for say 3 months time, or were you pretty good, like not
Nah,
good with
I've
it?
never had a serious one in
Not
any
like
way.
that?
No,
Yeah.
like you might lose a couple of hours or whatever. But Matt had a really bad brain injury.
Yeah.
He had like a stroke, half his face stopped working, didn't remember probably, like 4 months. They took his license off him for a year. He wasn't allowed to drink for a year, but he come out of it pretty good.
Yeah.
He's
Far out.
killing it now.
What year is this? Like,
Oh, it was at Bathurst, doing a Showtime event,
yeah.
and no one realised, I guess, the severity of it at the time. They put him on the plane, sent him home, and I think he went to drive the next day and backed straight into a car. And me and Mum sort of clicked, a few things went right. Mum took him back to the hospital. This is like a week later, and they did a brain test, and he doesn't remember anything. But we were moving house at the time, so it was kind of a bit of a funny period for us because he didn't know what was going on. We tell him, you got to pack your room like we're leaving, and instead of packing in boxes, he just packed it all in his cupboard and shut the cupboard door. And
Oh, no.
then same sort of thing, drinking. Every time he was drunk, he'd actually attempt to go back to our old house,
Really?
like not realising where we
Wow.
lived. But just that period, he was a bit lost. But now you wouldn't even know.
No, it comes back.
Yeah.
Like, wow. That's, yeah, I didn't know that. And obviously Bathurst, you're onto bitumen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's scary. That was a scary one for
Yep.
me and my mum. Like just talking to him, some days he couldn't even like comprehend we were speaking and just walk off. So it was scary for sure.
Were you there?
Nah,
No.
no. Which that's why no one knew. They just put him on the plane, sent him home. We thought he was fine, and then realised
And then he
he
got
wasn't.
back up.
Yeah.
Wow. Was that back in Brizzy, or were you just
No,
Oh,
we're still all living in Melbourne.
in
at the
Melbourne
time.
at that time?
Yep.
Yep. So when did you migrate? When did you come to Queensland?
I've moved back for good 3 years ago, I'd say.
Yep.
When I did break my femur, I flew back to Melbourne and sat on the couch for a while there and wasn't in a good way. And that's when Matt sort of said, come up here, we'll get you sorted. And yeah, loving it now. But I was up and back probably last sort of 7-8 years. Come up one time just to ride, get a bit of practice in. Actually was meant to stay with Matt for 2 weeks and just sort of never went home. Ended up renting a room with some friends and then got on tour and then was back and forth ever from there. Except in between, I did go and live with Jacko for a year.
out at
Lockhart. Made the move down there when I got serious about flipping. Once I learnt to flip and then realised he sort of had that set up, I could practice every day. I just moved down there, just did 10 flips every morning to keep it consistent in my head and not make it as scary as it had to be.
Was it scary at the start?
Yeah. It was even scary after a month off, I'm going to say. But when you did it every day, it become pretty normal for me. But if I had to do it now, yeah, pretty scared.
Yeah.
But that first one to do it, for sure, was scary.
Good feeling?
Yeah.
Like accomplishment?
Yeah, yep.
So foam pit or foam pit or mattress or what were you doing at the start?
So actually, like within 2 weeks, kind of learnt to flip. It was pretty cool for me.
Wow.
I couldn't even flip a trampoline. I probably could have, but I was a pussy. So within 2 weeks, I went to like a trampoline class with kids like about this big. They were all laughing at me and the teachers stand there like trying to help you flip and stuff. Bit of support. Did that and then I went BMX to foam pit, then mini bike foam pit, my big bike foam pit, and then to resi.
Wow.
So yeah, 2 weeks.
So it happened pretty quick.
Yeah.
Are you a naturally talented person?
Yes and no. I feel like I do pick up a lot of stuff pretty good. So yeah.
So you must be. Maybe, you're not going to talk yourself
up.
Yeah, it can't be too bad.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm just stupid more than anything. There's a lot of reasons
just
why
keep pushing things.
girls don't do what I've done. I'm an idiot. Like I'll crash and get hurt and say I'm going to do it again. I don't care. It's fine.
Just keep going back.
Yeah.
You were the first female freestyle from Oz though, hey?
Australia, yeah.
Yep.
Jolene was
Obviously.
the first one in the world and then I did it, yep.
Does that feel good?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I think I don't even realise anymore. Like I forget I even nearly did it.
Does that feel like a different part of your life now?
It does. Like some days I stop and I have people ask like, how was tour? How was this? And I'm like, fuck, that was cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was definitely good achievement. Stoked to have done it. Like that's the main thing, I guess. Obviously, it had to come to an end one day, and I did it. Like that's the best thing.
Yeah, you've done it.
Yeah.
Tick the box.
Yeah.
On a day, say you're in Germany or you're anywhere competing. Have you ever had days where you're like, I don't know if I can do this, and you've got a contract or you've got to do it? Have you ever had days like that where it's like, gee, this is really hard, or I'm scared to do this?
Flipping in Germany, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We had different ramps. Like there's actually like a Euro kicker, Oz kicker, and a US kicker. So the same super kicker in 3 different radiuses.
Yep.
And I learnt on a US, and I found that the easiest for me.
Yep.
And then went to Germany and had to go flip straight up to pretty much dirt in a show for Night of the Jumps on a Euro kicker. Anyway, struggled, was getting it done, just kept repetitively doing it, but nearly crashing, could barely get round. I remember just ringing Matt. It was probably like the middle of the night for him, and I'm just like, I can't work it out. I keep trying. He's just like, don't do anymore. Just stop. Like, you're going to hurt yourself. He's like, just go out in the show and do it. You know you can do it. I was like, no, but I want to do it right. Like, I wanted to get better. I wanted to learn. But anyway, I listened to him and just went out and I did it. It wasn't my cleanest flip, but yeah, I don't know. That ramp just always sorted me, and I hated it,
But you just overcome it, I guess. Like,
yeah, just go.
Yep. Adrenaline.
When the crowd's all there, you just go for it.
Do you hear the crowd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, especially when you ride out to your wave. Like, everyone's going mad. Over there, the atmosphere is out of control.
What, in Europe?
Yep. Different level to
Really?
Australia. Yeah, it is so loud. They all have their kind of like chainsaw things, like without the blade on it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's sick.
So travelling over there to do that sport
Yeah.
would be the ultimate?
Yeah, I did a show in Tijuana, Mexico. That was probably nearly the biggest one I've done.
A nitro show?
Nah, it was X-Pilots.
Oh, what's that?
I think it was a competition actually, but
Yeah.
I was just like a show
Yep.
from the girl. But yeah, it was like a football stadium, and
In Tijuana?
yeah, I don't know if it's NRL or whatever it is, but
Yep.
the whole entire stadium besides the back wall just full.
That would have been incredible.
So yeah, it was loud. It was cool, and you could walk out and just do like the Mexican wave, and the whole stadium would do it. Sick.
Did you get a chance to have a bit of a look around Mexico?
I was there for about a week, but I was kind of instructed, don't leave the hotel on my own.
Wow.
But yeah, it's pretty wild over there.
Yeah.
So not too much, just cruised around a little bit.
Cool place to go, though.
Yep.
Really cool
That's
place to go.
definitely an eye-opener. Even I think one of the biggest experiences was crossing the border. So we flew into America and drove across, and then going back through on the way home is out of control.
The into San Diego.
Yeah.
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 It's interesting, eh?
It's very. Yeah, you sit there for like 4 or 5 hours and it's like you can buy everything and anything you ever think of, and there's people like dragging themselves along the ground with legs cut off just trying to get money off people. Like, it's full on.
It's so, for us here,
Yep.
it's just so different.
Yeah.
You know,
You
it's-
really appreciate Australia.
You do, yeah. And I guess traveling the world like you have, you've been pretty much everywhere.
Yep.
Or a lot of places.
Yep.
I guess you'd have that feeling a fair bit.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, even just, I was saying today actually at work, like, you don't realise how nice Australia is until you leave. Like,
Yep.
when you come back, you're like, we've got like nearly the best beaches in the world. Like, it's nice.
Yeah, everything about it.
Yep.
It's good. Like,
And
it's
we're lucky.
yeah, we really are. It's
Yep.
it's an incredible place, and beaches,
Yep.
hills, whatever it may be.
Especially like Goldie, it's like everything's within a couple of Ks. It's cool. You drive 30 minutes, you're in the hinterland or whatever.
So you're stoked that you've settled there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a pretty good lifestyle. I can't complain.
As settled as
Don't
someone
know what
can
else I would be doing.
be. No, 100%.
Still
What-
love to be riding, but body's just a little bit. I'm riding, but not professionally, obviously. But body's just a bit broken.
Now, when I spoke to you on the phone, probably a couple of weeks ago, you said to me, "Oh, there's a little part of me that loved to go back out and have a go." You were filming with Corey. I
Yep.
think that's right, hey?
Yep, we just done an MX21 shoot for unit, I think.
Yep.
Yep.
And there's like, oh, there's a little part of me that wanted to. Would it ever ignite again, do you think? To go out?
Like do freestyle?
Yeah.
I'd love to. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason. I don't even know why I stopped, to be honest. I just sort of started working. Like, but I worked to keep mentally sane why I couldn't ride, and then it just become the normal, I think. But biggest stop for me is my back. Like, I just got a lot of back issues now, and some days can barely even like bend down and take your pants off you, and
Yep.
it kills. Like, legs and arms you can deal with, but not back. And I'd love to actually go back and flip one more time, definitely. But I just know, I think in the back of my head, it's like one little mistake. If I did case or if I did over rotate and jar my back, like, there's a fair chance I could end up in a wheelchair. And it's like, is it really worth it to say I did it? Like, that's what's stopping me, to be honest.
And you've done it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I've done it, so
Yeah.
what's one more? And it's always that one more that catches you out.
For sure. And
Yeah.
you've had this like career of doing it.
Yep.
Um,
That if you did it for no sort of money to it, it's just like, I know that's not everything, but it's when it's
Well, it
your
has been your job at some point, your
Health
health,
on the line, yeah.
you know, and you got paid to put your health on the line at one
Yeah.
point. Now to put your health on the line for free,
Yeah.
it'd be harder as well, I guess.
Which even when I stopped flipping, it wasn't even like, the money was amazing. And I remember crashing one day and ringing Matt and just going, like, I don't want to do this. And he's like, no one's making you. And that's when I just went, I'm not flipping anymore. Like, the money was sick, but when I didn't practice every day at Jacko's, it becomes scary to go 3 months without practicing and just have to flip to dirt. For me, like, yeah, guys do it easy, but it was a mental thing. And when I didn't have the consistent practice and would end up like headfirst on the ground and just be like, what am I doing? Like, I could ride and have fun and still get paid and do half the amount of stuff I'm doing. So,
You love riding bikes?
yeah.
Like it is something you actually love to do as well, hey?
Yeah. I love the road bike side of it right now.
Yeah.
Like,
That accident, was that something like the road bike accident?
Yep.
Did that put you off it at all?
killed me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Off road bikes?
Yep. I like fought pretty hard to just keep riding. I had to kind of withdraw myself from riding with groups because I didn't like the feeling of being pressured. Obviously, I'm pretty competitive and I felt slow, and I knew I was a lot slower than when I was before I crashed. I didn't enjoy it. Like, I wanted to be faster. I wanted to ride with the boys, but I was so scared of coming off again that I just kind of cruise on my own, try and get past it, but I'd find myself just clenching and just constant visions of coming off every corner. And I'm going to say, like, my confidence has come back amazingly since jumping on the lowrider Harley.
Yeah.
I feel comfy. I was telling someone the other day, I pretty much don't even think about it anymore. Like, I can ride and have fun again.
Well, when I followed you on the lowrider,
Yep.
it was like nothing.
You
had
wouldn't have
happened.
known, yeah.
No.
But put me like 6 months ago, and yeah, I'll admit I was struggling. Like, it lasted at least 2 years. But that bike, I don't know, like, I just feel comfy. I'm loving it.
good,
Having
eh?
the best fun ever.
What got you into the Harleys?
Matt, nah,
Yeah.
not Harley, but
It-
yeah, when I moved up, he was always road bike riding. Him in April,
Yeah.
went and got my license. So I was actually riding his bike a little bit without it, but quickly got that, and then got the little CB250 and
That's Little Red.
red rocket.
Did you build that yourselves or? Did you
Nah, I
find-
bought that one done, and
They look cool, eh?
best fun I've had on my bike.
Serious?
Yeah, did some dust tussle events on it. I wish I didn't sell it. I just sold it because I didn't have enough room in the garage. But too many bikes. Went from that and then bought this old CX500, which is just a nightmare. It broke down 100 times. Had it for a week. Sold that, and then friends sort of said, "We'll build you a new bike that looks old." So built the Cafe Racer, the Yamaha Bolt, and full custom build, and it's pretty trick. And somewhere in all that, with the dust tussle side of things, Harley hit me up and said, "We got this tracker here if you want to race it."
Yep.
And then it progressed from there into road bikes, and couldn't
That's-
be even happier. Like, just so lucky to have them behind me, swapping bikes, give me just the option to ride all these different bikes is the best thing, like, for my confidence.
For sure. I think that's a big part. The more things you can ride, the better.
Yep. You start to realise what sort of suits your riding. Like, everyone's different.
Do you think the lowrider is the best thing for you?
Yep.
It is.
I don't know. It just feels cool.
Yeah,
like, it's comfy to ride for me.
it's comfy. They flow like on
Yep.
our roads that we've got here. They
Yep.
flow just really
Yep.
well. They're a good
Where I
package.
had the 48 before that, and
Yep.
I thought at the time that was cool until I got on the lowrider S, and then it was the comfiest thing I've ridden.
Yep.
Like, for just flat flow and cornering everything.
Wow.
But they're about to swap that one over and give me something different, so we'll see what the next one brings.
Really?
Yep.
Do you know?
Softail, but I don't know any more than that.
Okay. Yep.
I think. So it's
Oh.
got a few mods to it this time, so we'll see.
Because the lowrider was just completely.
Yep. It's just
isn't
stock.
it?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. It's
Ah.
just nice and quiet.
Do you know when that is?
Nah, not too sure. They're
Okay.
probably hearing this, so they'll take it off me real soon.
Yeah, probably. Hey, so, oh wow, so that's that's a bit of a change.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because you'd look really, really comfy on that when we're
love it.
where we Yukai.
Yep.
Yeah, coming back through the Yukai road back to Moolumbar there, it's just
Flowing.
yeah.
Might have
it's
to
good.
see how much they can buy one off them for.
Yeah, it's good.
That's my
It's
next
good.
one.
So Matt was the influence into road stuff as well.
Yeah, just come up.
Yep.
They were riding every weekend, and I was jumping on a few times. And actually, Bruce.
Bruce Robson?
Yep.
Yeah.
Lent me bike to ride. I think it was like a KLX or KX, something he'd custom built at the time, and went on a cruise with those guys and just loved it after that. It was just, I don't know, when you don't want to go to the effort to go load your bike up, go to the track, pay the entry fee, to just jump on a road bike, go out and have some fun, meet people, coffee, pub, beers,
Social.
go home, put the bike in the shed, done.
It's so easy.
It's yeah,
especially
cool.
reliable bikes. Like
Yeah.
if you've had, bikes that you've had to build up and stuff.
Yeah.
That CX, for instance.
Yep. Oh, I had it for a week and got rid of it. I couldn't.
The reliability and that just.
Where some people love that, they want to work on bikes.
Yep.
I can openly admit, I hate working on bikes. I hate it.
I like riding them.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm not
Yeah.
a huge fan. I can do most things, but it's like I don't know about it. It's
Yeah, I
just-
can do it. I've built
Yeah.
all my bikes for freestyle, like always swapping, changing everything. But yeah, I don't really enjoy it, to be honest.
So your relationship with Harley started with the 750,
Yep.
tracker?
Yep.
and how's that? You enjoy that?
Yeah, it's fun to ride it. It sounds tough. It looks tough. It's powerful. It's cool.
Yeah, they go hard.
Yeah.
Like they go really, really well.
Yes, I've been lucky. I did the first dust tussle at QMP on that one.
Was it the first time you got it?
Yeah, I had it before. I was just riding some dirt track, but it would have been actually Day in the Dirt, the little track, TT track or whatever. But
Yep.
that track sucked a little bit for that bike. It was a bit big and chunky for those tight little corners. You couldn't really open it up. But
Yep.
did that, then did Mick Doohan Raceway on it. That was fun because I'd done the year before on the CB250 and everyone was just smoking me, so it was cool to have some power. But then I've taken it to a couple of motocross tracks, and I'm going to say that's nearly the most fun I've had. Yeah, took it to Gap Creek, and it was pretty cool to jump some tabletops and
You
stuff
took the
on
750 up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's fun.
And it was actually good?
Oh, yeah, it's just fun. Everyone's just looking at you. I was passing a few people. It's cool.
Wow.
I don't know how the bike enjoyed it, but
But it did it.
yeah.
Nice.
Still going now.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, no, it is. And you've just entered into the Hooligans.
Yeah, I think that one's about 3 weeks away, so
So, which you've done, you've ridden there and everything already, but you've entered into the race meeting.
yeah, I openly admit I won't do too well, but it's just a bit
Just
of
go have
fun.
fun.
Yeah, I am a bit of a confidence thing with that. Like, I do now think about the consequences, and that bike's like 230 kilos. If I drop it, it's going to hurt. Like, it could be a stupid crash, but if that thing lands on me, it's probably going to break some bones. So
yeah, there's a leg.
Yeah, just trying to keep it upright and have fun.
Yeah, I think that, and I think that's what the event should be about.
Yep. It's different atmosphere. It's cool.
Yeah.
Good bunch of people.
Good dudes,
cruisy.
good people, good girls, whatever. Whoever's around, it's just a good. The last one was great. This one sold out again.
Yep.
That'd be fun. 110s there. Should be good.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Be cool to just do something again after the whole COVID, I think.
Oh man, lockdown's been lockdown's been a bit nuts.
Tough.
Not so bad for us up here, but
we shouldn't complain at all.
No, sinking that as I said it, but it's still been funny for event people like yourself.
Yeah.
You go to a lot of events and work a lot of events.
Quiet, yeah. So even with like Unit doing photography, there's nothing on. Like,
How'd you get a job at Unit?
Sam Moore.
Sam?
So I've been sponsored by him as an athlete for, I'm going to say, about 6 years now.
Yep.
But, what was I doing? I was working at MX Store at the time. And Sam sort of said he was ready to leave, and if I wanted a job, we could make something work. But
so he was at Unit at the time?
Yep.
Yep.
And he was just doing 2 days a week. So I started, and I was actually only put on for 2 days a week and contracting to those guys, and I still did some contracting for MX Store, running all their socials and stuff. And then eventually just went Unit, and I was working for my brother, Made Social. Me and him did a fair bit of videography together, filmed some episodes and a lot of product photography, all that sort of stuff. We shot everything, so that was cool. But just contracting 2 days a week, and about March this year, Unit really pushing for me to go full-time and offering the contract and sort of weighing it up. Being a contractor, you can make some pretty good money, but I took the sacrifice, and I can say I love it. Like, stoked I did it. It was a perfect timing with COVID. It could not have been better. Those guys are really pushing right now, and it's cool to see the brand develop, and they got some cool stuff coming.
And it's like legitimate full time. Like, you have been, like, we speak a bit, and you've been under the pump for a couple of months.
Yeah, their range has just, like, I'm going to say nearly tripled in size in the last 3 months. It's cool. They haven't been held back. They're just developing more and more product and getting their foot in the door, different departments. And, we've just been shooting. I do all the photography and help with the online editing, starting to do a bit of design, and the boys have taught me heaps. So Photoshop skills have brushed up massively since I studied 10 years ago. It's cool. And I do enjoy it, surprisingly enough. It's rough to sit at a desk all day, but I enjoy the work, so it's worth it.
And it's so cool to see a brand do that.
Yep.
This was their core. Freestyle was a real core part of their business, I guess. Now they're in this part. They've got their workwear.
Yep.
It's cool
just
to see it
launched
go.
the active range for chicks, which is cool.
Activewear range?
Yep. Yeah. No, it's good.
It's happening, eh?
Yeah.
So is that actually on the market now?
Yeah, the activewear just dropped last week. About to bring another range also. They got so much product right now, so it's keeping us extremely busy.
Because, as a business, they came from a time where it sort of it ceased for a while, didn't it? I think it.
Yep, the old owners bankrupt.
It
went.
Went.
Yep.
And now it's like a rebuild. And
yep, those guys have pushed hard. Proud of them. It's cool to see it go so much further, and it's stuff I want to wear. The clothing's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, and same deal. When we were on the phone the other week, we were talking about the design work and that. The design work is actually really cool.
Yep.
Actual designs.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they got some, real clean-cut stuff, some sort of hand-drawn stuff, and then they do keep that original, little line for those people because it is still one of the biggest sellers. People love it. But,
really? The original?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. My family bought up some golf clubs the other month that I used probably in 2009 maybe, and I only opened them up earlier this week, and I haven't touched them since. And I opened them up, and there was a Unit stubby cooler in there from 2009. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's pretty crazy. So
it's probably is it still the same or it's changed?
It's changed. Oh, some of it's similar, but it was just chicks.
Okay, yeah, they're dropping that now. So,
are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a Unit stubby cooler from about it would have been 10, 11 years ago since I played golf. And I'm like, man, that is so funny. So,
yeah, it's one side thing that's definitely changed. We just filmed the MX21 launch video last week, and it comes out next Thursday, I believe. But normally they have the chick in it every year. Like she might be holding the flag in her underwear, whatever. But,
Like it always has been, hey?
Yep. And I can say this year they've cut the chick and put kids in instead. So
It's changed.
Yeah,
Yep.
cool. Like to just have like 2 little young guys ride in as well. It was a fun day.
And it's good to see the brand evolve.
Yep.
You know, it's
Yep.
gone from this part to this part.
Yeah.
And,
And some people, like, I actually got someone comment on a photo. Put a photo of me on Facebook last week, and someone's comment was like, "What are you guys doing? You've gone from like chicks in bathtubs to me in the MX gear with a t-shirt on," and they were ripping on me. But anyway,
it happens.
Yeah.
That's model life, eh?
yeah,
Because that was one of their big things, I guess,
Yeah.
was like the bathtub this and that. It was, different time. It was actually a different era too.
Yeah.
Like in it was like a pop culture thing, I guess, too.
and that's the thing. A lot of the actual stores don't want to show that stuff. So like, even if we make it, they're not going to sell it, or like with our videos when it had the chick in it, it limits the audience. So
Yep.
they've adapted to what's going on in the world. And
Makes sense, and you don't want to discriminate against your own audience.
No.
You know, divide this
Yeah.
or whatever. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work. How'd retirement go?
not so good.
Tough.
Yeah, it was tough.
Like, hang on, let's turn that back. Like, you're in your early 30s. Like, I'm not saying that you've completely retired.
Freestyle.
You've freestyle retirement. How'd that go?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough period for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too negative, but I did struggle. Like it was hard to go from that lifestyle of like living the dream. Like I said, day sheets under your door every day saying if you want to go skydiving, if you want to go drive a jet boat, like just endless opportunities, getting paid, all your clothing paid for, your food paid for, like alcohol unlimited, to sitting on the couch with me. Like I flew home from Germany. I pretty much sort of realised because it was going to be such a long time off. I was sponsored by KDM at the time. I had a really good parts budget. So I used all my budget, sent all my stuff home. I had a manager over there, but I had to give my bike back. And I just knew it was sort of going to be tough to get back into, but went home, sat on the couch, and I had a lot of issues with my leg, sort of 3 surgeries with the femur. Didn't realise that all the ongoing problem of when I got the rod out was actually my glute had been torn for 12 months also, and they never picked up on it. So
Like prior to...
when I broke my femur, so they put the rod in for the break, but they never actually repaired the tear in the glute. So when I did start to walk, it was just like shin splints, my leg rolling in, the whole leg wasn't working. And then didn't know this at the time, went and got the rod out. When they pulled the rod out 11 months, they found the glute was torn. So then to try and retrain your brain to work that muscle, it took a huge amount of rehab, and I struggled. And for me, I walk every day. Like I love it. It's like the first thing I do in the morning, chuck some music on, I think about my whole day. So to not be able to even just get out and walk, like it was tough on its own. I was sitting in Melbourne in winter, and it all just sort of hit me, and I struggled for sure. But moved up to the Goldie, and I actually got 3 jobs at once, to keep saying. I'd gone from pretty much never working to just working my ass off just to keep occupied and not think about it. And I ended up becoming the norm for me. Like I'm sweet now, have fun, love it. But
work hard through it.
Yeah. You look forward. I think you appreciate some things more than maybe when you did. Every day was a weekend for me. It was like, if you want to go riding, if you want to go do this. But now you look forward to those days off. Like you really, appreciate it.
Makes sense. Because when you came up, you iron resin.
Yeah, so I was working
out there
Iron Resin, MX Store, and Wahoo's tacos.
all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
like some days I would start at 4:30, whatever, go open up at Iron Resin, then go straight to MX Store and do a day there. The next day might have been Wahoo's, and that's what I mean. I don't even know what I was doing. It wasn't about the money, it was just to keep mental.
Yep, just keep
Yeah,
things happening.
Yeah, just had to keep. Yeah, it was. And I remember one thing was like when you're at freestyle, you check the wind all the time. Like it's just, you can't ride if it's windy. And I'd be waking up every day and I'd be like, oh, it's windy, this and that. And Mum's like, what are you talking about? Like, who cares? But I reckon I did it for a year. Like,
Wow.
it was just something I did every day. You check the wind.
Yeah, it's happened.
Yeah, so then it was just like the little things. And now I wouldn't even care if it's windy. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, just go walk.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was a tough thing.
Yeah, and I think, like, you feel sometimes people think you're a spoilt brat or whatever, like, what are you talking about? But if you haven't lived that life, like, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Like, I was extremely lucky to do what I did and to go back to just that normal day-to-day routine, which I wasn't used to. It was hard for sure.
It's like a new normal.
Yeah,
you
and that's what I mean. Once you
Yep.
adapt, it's completely fine. Like, I'm not
Yep.
playing now. Like, I'd love to have more days off, this and that. But same time, even when I went full time at unit, I was actually I could have done 4 days, but somehow I just kept doing 5. Like, I didn't even care. It was normal. But yeah, you get over it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
You forget you even rode.
yeah. I not that I find that hard to believe, but it had been such a chunk, of
Yep.
time. It'd be hard to, just goodbye to that era, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, when people like start to bring it up and you look through your phone at your photos, you're like, shit, it was cool.
When you travel in the world, is it easy to build friendships with the Nitro family?
Oh, Nitro was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone was pretty close. And if we did bus tours, which was cool. So
What do you
it was
mean?
about like, if it was a bus tour, it might have been say 6 weeks in America, and you slept on a bus. You got hotels, but maybe like every couple of days. It was a bit different to say being in Australia. You just went to your hotel, flew home, come back, whatever.
wow. Yep.
But bus tour, finish your show, sleeper bus. There might have been like 6 buses, 12 people on each, and you had your own sort of cabin, aircon, climate control, like music, everything in there.
So it's well set up.
Oh, it's amazing.
You're not talking about the hillbilly bus that's down.
Like, I mean, these buses are cool. Like,
Legit.
full kitchens, different lounges. They're 2-story. And yeah, you'd finish the show, jump on the bus, it'd be loaded up with Pierce food, drink,
Yep.
sleep all night, wake up, you'd be at the next venue, practice, show, jump on the bus. You'd arrive in each country each night. Like, you wouldn't even know the buses would drive all night. Next show next day. It was different, where kind of beat, I guess, sitting around airports, wasting time, like checking your luggage in and out. It was different.
Sure.
And crazy enough, you sleep so good on them things.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
if you.
it just rocks you to sleep.
Oh, that's
They
cool.
could drive like all night, you wouldn't
So
even know.
a proper bus tour.
Yep.
Yeah, because when
Yeah,
you
we
said
did.
bus tour, I thought, oh, you mean like you get to a city and you go out as a group together and just do a bus tour,
yeah,
but you
it's-
actually go around the whole.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a different way of doing it.
And we had our own sort of catering team. They were on their own bus. So even when you rocked up at the venue, it might have been 8 a.m. some days.
Yep.
Joe jump in the shower, whatever. But the catering team would be all set up, like mad spread of food. And then they travelled with us the whole time. It was cool.
wow, they built such a good thing, hey.
Yeah, it was,
Yep.
cool. Really
Like
cool.
it's just an event, a mobile. It's like a mobile big
Yep.
day out.
Yep.
Like every day for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy times.
So,
What would be one of the favourite venues?
oh.
Do you have a favourite venue, like a venue that is a favourite?
Nah, because to us, like, with the show set up, they all look the same once you're inside, I'm going to say. But it was pretty cool to do Vegas, I'd say. That one was pretty big. What is it, MGM Grand?
MGM Grand or whatever?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, right.
a pretty big one. I think Matt actually had a broken ankle at the time, but we did ride it. It was the last stop of the tour for us, so
Wow. Yeah, Vegas is such a town, hey?
Yeah.
For activity.
yeah. We only had like 2 nights there, I think. We broke up, same thing on the bus,
Yep.
at the venue, go in, practice,
Get
next
out.
day, after party, fly back to Germany, I think at the time I did.
Wow. So you based yourself in Germany?
Yeah, I had a manager over there and
Yep.
he set me up with another family of riders, Hannes and Luke Ackerman, and got along with them. They rode full time, so we used to just ride like nearly 4 days a week and then travel together. Like, shows were all around Europe, so you drive to whatever, France, England.
And was that Nitro shows or was this
No,
another-
this is just in between Nitro. I was doing my own.
Your own thing.
He just sourced me events. I did a lot of Night of the Jumps.
What do you mean?
Night of the Jumps.
Oh, yeah, okay, yep,
Competition,
yep.
but I was just like a side act, so I did them for a couple of years. It was pretty cool. I flipped a couple of those and then just went just to upright tricks. But we did some pretty cool events like Goodwood Festival Speed in England.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, that one was
That's-
awesome. Real like prestigious event, really.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Lord Goodwood's
Yep.
driveway,
Yeah, it was-
isn't it?
I actually, funny, I had a crash the week before that in Austria and did my back, got airlifted, and I just wanted to ride that Goodwood so bad, so could barely walk, just strapped kidney belt as tight as I could, and I did like 5 days of shows there. It was glad I got that one
So
done.
it's a show every day.
Yeah, it was massive. Yeah.
Was it out on the driveway? Like, where do they do it? Like,
They had a cool setup. I think
Yeah.
they called it like the gas arena, and they had like side by side freestyle. No, they would have had probably 2 or 3 freestyle landings, maybe a big pad across the middle, so side by sides and a return one. They had big like BMX setup. It was good, and that was like inside the track, I think.
because like that has Valentino Rossi some years,
Yep.
and
Yeah, they get
it's
some big names.
big
so,
names, like
yeah.
big event. It's a
Yeah.
huge event. So
For us, it was we had Edgar Torrenteras.
I have
Old
seen
freestyle rider.
Yeah,
and,
I seen him at X Fighters over.
years ago.
Yeah, long time ago now. I'm just trying to think.
So he made the event super fun.
Really?
He's a character.
Good value?
Yeah, it's cool.
The X Fighters events were huge, hey?
Yeah, I went to a couple. Luke, the kid I was living with, sponsored by Red Bull, and did a few of them. So I went to like Munich. It was good.
Yeah, right. What was the one in the Colosseum one? Was that in Spain? I think that was in Spain. That was incredible.
Yep.
Incredible to watch, you know.
Yep.
So I went to Glen Helen. Glen Helen one was
Okay.
was an awesome event. So.
Yeah, I just did Sydney and Munich, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. What such a good era for that sport, hey?
Yep.
You know. Do you think it can ever go back to that?
Yeah, I guess it's gonna depend, like sponsors and stuff, like whether people will back it.
Yep. What about tricks? Do you think tricks can advance further?
I don't know. It's
The level's
crazy.
pretty high now.
Yeah,
Hey?
I was lucky to be a girl doing what I was doing. Like I only had to flip, and it was it's cool.
Yeah.
Or if I wasn't flipping, I'd do like 4 jumps, and it was just like, I was so stoked.
And you get paid.
Yeah,
No dramas.
Yeah, where the guys are like risking their lives, like it's
Every time.
yeah. It'd be hard to be a young guy coming through now.
Yeah, it'd be like, it's changed so much in that short time, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You touched on something before there. Do you get paid more for a flip?
Yeah.
Yep. Because of the risk.
Even Australia or normal for guys, there's sort of like a
scale.
rate for like not flippers and non-flippers.
Yep.
So everyone sort of, if they do stick to it, it makes the sport fairer. Whether there's guys out there that undercut people and will do flips heaps cheaper, and it's killing the dudes that do it for a full-time job. But yeah, for me being sort of the only chick in the world going around flipping, it's decent money for sure.
What got you into tandem? What was the start of that?
Tandem, we'd seen some 2 Spanish dudes, like we just saw like a photo or something.
Oh, really?
And we're like, we're going to do this. And I can honestly say it was nearly the most fun I've had riding a bike. It was just funny.
It was funny to watch.
It was really funny for me, like to talk to someone while you're doing freestyles. It's cool.
So you guys would just have a bit of a chat?
Yeah, like we'd be on the run up, or you'd land and you'd be like, did you see that? Or like, fuck, I nearly missed that grab. And yeah, I don't know, it's very different. Normally motocross or freestyle, you're on your own. So
yeah, it's such an individual pursuit.
yeah, it was different. I had fun with it. Sure, I would happily do tandem again, but my mum and brother said no. Like with my back, that's what caused it. Unfortunately, just landing repetitively on that back, and it was my own fault too. I used to just land with my feet off, just didn't really think, and it just jarred it all and crushed it all. But when you do it every day, sort of thing, we only did 4 jumps a night, and physio on tour, the physio would fix you straight back up, so I think I'd fine. And then it wasn't until I went back to riding my own shows and like could barely move and come back to Australia, and it was when I did my femur, it really set my back off, and then got some MRIs, and all my discs and vertebrae, like lower ones, were crushed, and I didn't know it at the time. So
oh wow, that's because it's a pretty cool. It was cool to see.
Oh, it was so fun. I love it.
So did Matt like it as well?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope so.
Yeah, 100%. So it's just, one of those things that you see, you're like, oh man, I don't know if this is like, as an outsider, that looks scary, but I don't know in your own mind, because you do it all the time, if it is.
I think it was scary, but I'm just, like I say, stupid. If he says do something, I'm going to go do it. But the funniest thing for me is actually the first time we tried it, we were on our own, which is stupid as hell. Like if we'd have crashed, we'd never done this before.
What, just did a ramp somewhere?
Yeah, we went to Robbie Marshall, had his place in Fernvale, and we drove out together, and I was like, what if we get hurt? Like, we don't even know what's going to happen. Seat bounce in a ramp, 2 people, like, it's not really normal. But he's like, we'll set the camera up on the tripod. He's like, surely we're not both going to get hurt enough that one of us can't crawl and grab the phone. All right, here we go. And, we'd get back and we'd run around, watch the camera and be like, oh, that was cool.
Landed it straight away?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, when we learnt the, crossover one, we swapped positions in the air. We went down to Jacko's and did that in the pit, and then, straight to dirt, ready for the show.
That one?
That one's that one's scary.
Yeah. I think probably more so, I might be wrong, but more so for Matt, because he has to elevate so far away, I guess. I don't know.
He kind of jumps up like a heel clicker, where for me, I had to tuck as low as I could, so it'd take my visor and stuff off. But if he didn't jump high enough, my head would catch his pants, which was kind of weird. It's your brother. But one time, I think it was in Switzerland or Sweden or something, I when I went back, because I got to let go of the bike completely to get under him, I floated off the back and I couldn't get back on, and I'm like grabbing. I just got caught with my legs and pull back on, and that's when you're not ready to brace and just land and smash your back. But we never really got too scary with that one. It's cool.
Yeah, right. Did you have any big offs?
Nah, only that one crash, which is when
the rear brake.
Yeah, when I pulled myself on for a seat grab, I pulled too hard and just pushed him and kicked his foot on the brake. And the problem was, because we got the second set of foot pegs, we didn't weld them. We welded them so they didn't fold.
Yeah.
So it could have been avoided. But when we crashed, the foot peg didn't fold, so it just snapped his leg clean.
Ah, okay. Yep. Yeah.
So we modified that next show.
Yeah, that's a very interesting topic.
Yeah, you don't think of.
No, with the Harley the tracker that we're doing here, and you'll know this from the 750, the foot peg, as you click up through the gears, keeps flicking up.
Oh, they seem to stay up the whole track for me. I'm like flat out trying to find the peg.
That's what happened to me the first time I rode as well. So I was like, let's just solid mount it.
Yeah.
But exactly what you said.
And it's caught Matty out twice. He broke his leg, I'm going to say, Dust Hustle 2 years ago. Rode his CBC 650. Same thing, welded the full perch, put pegs on, come around the corner, put his leg out and just clip the ground, and when it forces your foot back, if the peg doesn't move, snapped his tib and fib again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the conversation we had.
Yeah.
Exactly
it's like
what
little
saying.
things you probably don't think is going to happen, but it's broken his leg twice. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, good conversation to have now, because we're looking at that.
Don't weld them.
Don't weld them up. So,
but yeah, we need to come up with something, because for me too, like I spend the whole track just trying to kick that foot peg down.
So what we have done is like a lug.
Yep.
Just so it slows it down. It'll still bend up if something happened.
Okay.
But just like a little lug in there to stop it, because the first time I just kept getting the back of the boot caught and it just flick, and I do 6 laps of it up you know. And now we've just put that in there.
Yep.
Solved it, and the guys are like, "Oh, mate, you couldn't weld it completely." I'm like, "Just weld it; it'll be fine."
Yeah.
What about your leg? I'm like, didn't think about it. But
yeah.
Now you say that, yeah.
There was, I think it must have been maybe Dust Hustle. I just jammed some sticks down the top, something to keep it down.
Just keep it down. Yeah. I remember him doing his leg there.
Yeah, it was like didn't crash, same thing, just kicked it, but because it whipped back, hit the foot peg, just sat there and took it.
That CB, hasn't it had some work?
Yeah, it's still going too.
So tell me about Tassie. You rode Tasmania earlier this year.
Yeah, we went down 2 weeks for Wide of the Mark, filmed a documentary. And it was, probably some of the most fun I've had since riding freestyle. It was cool to be a part of. Like,
you had adventures because you've travelled the world on motorcycling adventures. How does this weight up?
This is something anyone can go and do, and I'd recommend it. If you haven't been to Tasmania, straight up right there, it's an amazing place. It's so small and everything's so close together, and it's amazing scenery, really cool beaches. But
that you can ride on.
Yeah, that was the best fun I've ever had. But you chuck your bike on the Spirit of Tasmania, not long and you're over there, and anyone can jump on and do the trip themselves.
And it was just an awesome few weeks, yeah.
Yep, it's a good group of people. It's fun. It was some hard days for sure. Like when you're riding, like feels like 12 hours a day, and probably. Well, it might not even be minus at the time, but torrential rain, you're freezing, soaking wet, your gloves are wet, your shoes are wet, and ride all day into the dark, and then roll out your swag, which has been on the back of your bike, and trying to keep your bags dry, like under a tarp, under your swag, and tied off to the side of your bike, and then trying to dry your gloves on a fire, but you want to go to sleep because you're buggered, and you wake up in the morning, you just put your wet gear on, and off you go again. But
proper adventure.
Yeah, it was well worth it.
Have you, has Tom reached out about doing another one?
There's definitely some talk about it, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, because I know, he sort of said to me, we might do something else. And
yeah,
that'd be cool to, I can't wait to see Wide of the Mark for one thing, but it'd be cool to see what you just come up with for the next one.
Yeah, I hope there's another one. I hope I'm involved in it.
Yeah, because from when I spoke to him, he's like, Emma's got to be there. She's the furniture now. And
oh, cool. I didn't know if I'd get asked back. I had some trouble with bikes and stuff. But me being what I do, obviously the other guys, they're all bike builders. So if something went wrong, they could sustain themselves, where I felt like a bit of a pain in the ass. If every time I had a bike, something could happen, the boys had to stop, help me. But they were so good. They just fixed everything. And they could fix anything. It's crazy the stuff they could achieve on the side of the road.
I think that's going to add to the film.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't wait. Have you even seen a draft yet or anything?
I
yourself?
haven't. There's been a draft. I think the last I heard it was, I can't remember the exact time frame. Say it was meant to be 30 minutes. It might have been 2 hours. Like it was just a whole lot of content. They're just trying to cut it shorter.
And as you know, like you spend a lot of time with video work.
Yep.
They got some work ahead of them.
Yeah. I think like they've got a lot of cool content. It'd be hard to cut it down. So
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to do like mini.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to have
miniseries.
like a part 1, part 2 maybe if it come down to it. We'll see what they come up with. But excited to see it. It shouldn't be far off, I would say.
100%. How did you go across coming from photo to video? Because you've done a lot of video stuff now.
Yep.
How'd you find it?
Very different.
Yeah.
For me, that was stressful, I'm going to say. I'd never done video, to be honest, and Matt chucked me on. I did 4x4 series. I jumped on board last year.
Yep.
And Matty was doing the whole series himself and then needed some help. It was long, hard days, a lot of running around, a lot of cameras, GoPros. Put me on to do photography and so he could focus on the videography, and then I kind of jumped on as second filmer and helped out with a lot of B-roll stuff, this and that, and just sort of he just taught me as I went, and very different, obviously, from framing a still object, whether it's action sports or whatever, but kind of framing exactly what you want to shoot and to focus in constantly, especially because we use digital SLRs, so it was like following the focus point.
Yep.
Yeah.
The whole way along.
Whole way, and trying to stay steady, and I was never that steady, so he bought like rigs and stuff for me to hold and made it easier. And I think at the time I'd actually just smashed my hand up, so it was quite tough. I was still in like a splint, and we cut it down so I could go away to like Darwin for a couple of weeks and film.
Just last year, like when I was speaking to you last year, you were away a lot, hey?
Yeah, we did nearly an episode a month, so we'd be away like sometimes 2 weeks at a time. Like we did Tasmania also with the 4x4s.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was cool too, especially for us to go, and we drove nearly the same route.
Really?
We did 4x4 and
Yep.
then to go back a year later and to ride it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
But did like Lorella Springs, Darwin, that was a 2-week trip, so all in swags. Real different. Like
Yeah.
definitely cool for me and Matt to do too, like coming from that lifestyle of Nitro Circus, 5-star accommodation, like catering, bus tours, to having the opportunity to go rough it in swag. Like it's sick. A lot of people wouldn't be stoked on that, where I'm glad I've got to experience both sides.
And like, I know you a lot more than I know Matt.
Yeah.
But you guys are very comfortable in swags, and like,
Yeah, I've got
you
used
love
to-
the outdoor stuff, eh?
I wasn't much of a camper, to be honest, to
Really?
start with, but it's just something you get used to too. Like bloody baby wipes everywhere. I don't like any dirt or anything in my
Yep.
swag. Like I love dirt, but not in my bed. So
Yeah.
clean the feet before you jump in, and
Because I just know, like, adventure-wise and outdoor, like, you're pretty up for it now.
Yeah, I
Like,
love it now,
whatever it
but
is, you
yeah,
know. So,
yeah.
and you went to St George on the weekend and swagged
yeah, I
it
just
up.
spent 2 nights in swag out there. No
How was it
shower
out
for
there?
3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Plenty of baby wipes. So much fun. That's
Do you want to race one of those?
Yeah, I'm keen. That's
Can
my
you?
next thing.
Yeah.
I'd love to. Actually, the funny story is when I broke my leg,
Yep.
sitting on the couch, couldn't ride, didn't know whether at the time I had so much trouble with my leg. If I'd ride again, I'm just like, I want to race cars. So started reaching out to people, pretty stupid really, just trying to email people asking how I get to drive in a car. And now, like, to go watch the boys race on the weekend, that's definitely what I'm keen to do. Like, I'd love to get involved, but it's a money side of things really. So
It's a budget sport, eh?
yeah.
Like a big, sorry, not budget.
Yeah.
It's a big budget sport.
Yeah, it's obviously the price of a motorbike to a price of a UTV.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
How'd you go-karting the other week?
Yeah, we did a shoot for Unit with the V8 boys and Slideways. So it was a bit different to what I've driven go-karts before,
Yeah.
but I couldn't quite get my head around it. I was a bit too aggressive on the throttle and didn't want to use brakes, so it was hard to turn. The boys at the track are just constantly holding up the sign, like, use your brakes, settle down, and have to pick me up and spin me around every corner.
It's pretty crazy, though. You were with, like, supercar drivers,
Yeah,
too. So
they definitely, I think it's like 4 seconds lap quicker.
that is, you know, for someone that knows how to handle machinery, like you've
Yeah.
raced motocross, travelled the world in nitro, you race a tracker Harley, you ride all the time, to be that amount of time off. I know it sounds,
Yeah.
you know, they are professionals
Yeah.
at it, but it just shows how good they are, hey,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
You know, that level.
And they'd had a few more sessions from me in the
Did
start
they?
of the day. Yeah, we
Yeah,
jumped
okay.
on the last one, but I like I said, I couldn't quite work it out. It's not like normal go-karting; it's completely opposite. But
Yeah.
Yeah, April's she used to race the Torinis, like twin engine ones and stuff, and she took me out to, where'd we go? Warwick, and got to drive in some of theirs. And
How was
like,
that?
Yeah, real cool. Like that's like 120 down the back straight. Them things were fast.
That's
so
fast. Yep.
Sort of wanted to really move into them at one point. That's what she was racing each weekend, and then once she got pregnant, Mac come along. Sort of, I was gonna replace her spot in the karts, but never really got around to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Was she a kart racer?
Yeah,
forever?
she's fast.
Like legitimately into
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, she do the endurance races too, and I never like understood like why, but you get like say 6-8 hours seat time, or like it's massive. Where you race a normal race, you might get 5 laps, you're out, done. So it was smart. Like she got a lot of practice, a lot of time. It's cool.
I said to you the other night when we were on the phone, like because we've got to this podcast after a
This
few
is
weeks.
the third time my voice has just come back. I
Your
lost
voice
it
is
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but we're talking about go-karting and stuff, and I reckon we should try and head up one of those endurance races. Like,
Yep.
they're not the professional endurance race,
Yep.
but one of the higher kart endurance
Yeah,
races.
do like a team thing.
Team event. I reckon that'd be cool. Get a few teams together and
100% we'll organise something cool.
I reckon that'd be sweet because they. I've done it a couple of times. Probably when I played golf last 10 years ago, and I just had the best time. I reckon it's a really good
Oh,
time.
go-kart's fun, yeah.
Yeah, so I reckon
Yep.
we'll try and get a bit of a crew. What other adventures you got planned or want to do around motorcycling, sport, photography? What else?
Got nothing really planned right now, I guess. Been pretty preoccupied with a bit of house stuff going on at the moment, but
Yep.
just got another place to move this week, so it'd be cool to get into that. And then I think I'll have my life back next week and start to actually focus on myself again. It's been pretty just like moving around a bunch at the moment, heaps of work on, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything planned, like I said. I'll see what happens. Hopefully there's some more like Day in the Dirt, some more events coming up that we
Yep.
can all get involved in, just have some fun. Like I said, if I could get some sort of drive and start moving into the car pathway, I'd be stoked on that. Like it's something I'd absolutely love to achieve. Like I said, with my back injuries, I just feel like cars would be better suited right now. But even working with some guys at work, they're trying to get me some test drives in like the XL series, stuff like that. So
That'd be cool.
we'll see what happens.
That'd be the same deal. That'd be super fun. No matter
Yeah,
what you're
that's what I
driving
mean.
or
It's
riding
just-
or whatever, it'd be good fun.
Yeah, I don't need the fastest to have fun. Like, hence why I got little CV250. Like, it's just anything. It's fun. I rode the little 400 around Tassie, and to be honest, I got back on my bike, and it was nowhere near as fun holding the thing like from coming off a bike just pinned everywhere
The
you
whole
went.
time.
Yeah,
That's what I found at Tassie.
Yeah.
I rode a 400.
yeah.
It's just like,
You're just on it
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nah, I had so much fun.
Yeah, that's one thing I can say definitely about you. You like to have fun. You're
Yeah,
always
stoked.
about the fun. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess continue with unit, continue doing that
Yeah,
stuff.
that's like just really begun for me. So,
Yep.
like I said, only just gone full time March, I think.
wow.
Bit of a change, but I thank the boys today. I said it's probably one of the coolest change I've done, working wise, like career wise for that. Like,
'Cause
cool,
it's a
cool
pretty
family
small-
to be a part of.
Pretty small family too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like there's only like 4 of us in there. So 2 designers, another my boss marketing, and then me.
Wow. That's a pretty good bunch of people to be
Yeah,
with.
and then the owners are super cool. The whole family works in the business, so
And they're always there. The owners are always part of
yep,
it. Yep.
they are there long hours, like
They're in.
every day, all day.
Yeah. It's good to see that focus, eh?
Yep.
So I guess it's not like one person's chipping in all the way.
Nah,
Everyone's
even
there.
down to like when a container arrives,
Yep.
they're down unloading the container. They're on the forklift. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, they're not like they're too good for anyone. Like, they're in there working.
I think that's such a good good model.
Yeah,
for
100%.
work.
Yep.
I
Because
know.
I've worked for other companies, and it's kind of like, oh, you send the lower class people out to go work the warehouse. It's like they get involved. They don't care.
Yep.
Yep.
It's just
And that's what I love about working there.
everyone's in. I know when Brian was the first person we had on the podcast, and he was talking about Denny Dixon. There's Dixon Flenos.
Yep.
I think it's Denny. And he was saying there was a story, or Brian knew him or something, of him out in the rain unloading all the containers of all the stock, and it's just part of it, And I think
Yeah,
that
it's
builds,
real.
builds the brand.
Yep,
you know,
100%.
so,
It's not just like about someone sitting at home trying to make money. Like, they're involved.
Yeah.
Yep.
They want to be part of it.
Yep.
Well,
That's
how long do you
enough.
reckon that is?
I think I spoke the most I've spoken in my life, especially considering I just got my voice back after
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, you've had 2 weeks of zero voice. How long do you reckon?
32.
No, bit over an hour.
Was
20 hour
it?
20. Yeah.
No one's going to want to listen to that.
No, yes, they will, for sure. So, and we did a few intros to start with because I kept making
That added
mistakes.
at least 3 minutes.
So, and I cut something out, but you are like one of the most humble people, like considering some of the stuff you've done around, and you're always up for a chat to everyone that comes and approaches you. Yeah, thank you so much for coming in, and yeah, I really appreciate everything you do, Emma. So,
Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't see myself different to anyone, like just a normal person, and love to see other people getting involved in the sport. And obviously I'd love to see more girls. Like, it's cool. Everything's come a long way, so anything I can do to help out the sport, I'm keen to get involved in.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, and yeah, let's go race some hooligans in a few
Yeah,
days' time.
races on.
All right, take care.
Thank you.